Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of In the Prog Seat. It's December. It's the first Tuesday of the month. Actually, sorry, the second Tuesday of the month. We are going to be talking about our favorite five prog albums of the year. We are the four that are buying new stuff on the team, as you can see. So we've got some stuff to talk about. So let me introduce the crew. We got Professor of Prog, Mr. Ken Golden is here. And of course, the two pillars of Four Fusion Friday, George LeMay and Eric Porter, are both in the house. What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Cold.
Good evening.
It's cold. Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to get a heat wave tomorrow. I think it's going to be 35 here tomorrow.
I think it hit 30 today. It was
Uh,
warm.
Everybody's got jackets on inside the house trying to save on the heat.
yeah, what does that tell you, right?
It's so cold down here. I'm in the basement of the house, and it's so cold down here that in the summer I'm wearing a hoodie. So the funny thing is that I'm always kidding Jeff because Jeff told me he keeps his apartment at 62,
Ooh.
which is like ridiculous, right? 62. So he says to me today, he says, "It's kind of cold down here, isn't it?" And I'm like, "It's like a heat wave compared to your apartment."
Yeah, right? Oh my God. Yeah, 62. That's a little bit too chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah. He leaves his dog there all day. I'm like, isn't the dog cold? I mean, my
I
God.
got a buddy who does the same thing. He's like, yeah, I leave my thermostat on like 64, 65. I'm like, that's even kind of borderline. So, all right. So we've picked five each. We'll probably do a couple honorable mentions at the end. So we'll go through all of our five picks on each turn. So Eric, I'm going to start with you. What are your five, four, three, two, and one?
Well, we were all discussing before, and I thought it was a very good year. I don't know if it was amazing. I think, as we talked about on the Fusion show, I've got a couple that I felt were really high up, but I'm going to start with Squeaky Feet Overview Effect at number five. Um, Getting into the jam scene, but I know that label scares people. I don't They may be put in that genre, but I think they've got a lot of progressive tendencies.
They don't really fit too neatly anywhere. That's the thing with them. You could make a case for any of those styles, but to me, they kind of transcend all those things, but they are those things, right? I mean, cool, man.
Eric looks frozen.
It's
I should have kept my mouth shut. I froze them. Look at that. I just totally just locked them up.
And kind of the same thing with Humphreys McGee. Oh, did I cancel out again?
You froze for a little bit. Yeah, I started talking, then you just kind of like, bloop, and I was like, okay.
Of course. So I had Squeaky Feet at five. Just I really dig them. Number four, I haven't gotten a hard copy of this yet. It's only available on the website. Humphreys McGee. I've got to see them a couple times. I'm actually seeing them again in February. I think they're just absolutely fabulous band, great musicians. Again, a lot of progressive tendencies, so you can put them in that jam category, but I see them as prog. And my number three is Soft Fog. And this was Focus. Again, another just a terrific. I think they're a good blend. They may kind of blur the genres. I think people could see them in a little fusiony. That is a jazz label that they're on. Has put out some great stuff
Yeah.
this year. I've really liked what they've done. I hear Yes in them. I hear King Crimson, but I also hear a jazzy side to them. Just terrific. It was probably well, obviously in my top five, but that was one that I
Eric,
knew
show that
was,
cover again because that album cover is great.
yeah. And that's one I think right when I heard it, I said, this has got to be in the top five. So that is
Wow,
my five, four, and three.
wow, Eric, where'd you get that CD from?
Where do you think? Where do I get most of my CDs from?
Laserland.
All right, George, what do you got? Your five, four, and three.
My number five is a new band to me. Jack the Joker, Devil to Pay in the Backland. A bazillion, I think.
Yeah.
Um, really, really heavy prog metal, gent flavors. Each guy in the band can really play. What really sells me on the album though is the singer,
Yeah, he's great.
and he's a chameleon. He does a lot of stuff, man. He can do pretty much anything. It's something about him. He really appeals to me. I cannot put my thumb on it. There's a couple growly sections, which of course I don't care for, but it's not much. The higher part of his range is where I think he really, really sounds good. But he emotes like crazy. He sells me on it. It's progressive. I had to have it. Number four, the Soft Fog. Uh, to me, they're like second coming of Finch. Instrumental prog. I don't take it as fusion at all. I know their Bandcamp profile sells them as fusion, but I don't really hear that. I really like the guitar player, a good soloist. Um, I think the production could be a little better, but I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Good record. My number three is Thought Chamber, Mist of Lyriad. This is more traditional prog metal, Rush flavors, Kansas flavors, and the usual Dream Theater-esque flavors. But uh, again, another band where everybody can really play, but the guitar player, Michael Harris, is the band leader, the songwriter. Uh, Maybe not my favorite of their three because of the vocal situation. Ted Leonard left the band during the studio or right before they went to the studio, and they never got a permanent guy. They did the vocalist by committee here. That is a little bit off-putting for me, but other than that, I think it's well written, well played stuff, and I was definitely going to have it. So, Thought Chamber, Mist of Lyriad.
Good stuff.
And
Ken?
that's always a turnoff for me when I'm listening when they do like the vocalist by committee. Never.
It hasn't been before, but it did bother me on this one. I'm not sure why.
I'm just saying in general when bands do that, they, I get a press release about some upcoming album and they'll tell me about the three vocalists that are on the album. Then it to me it signals project or something.
Yeah, and it's a different story if you have three guys who are in the band who sing,
Right.
as
Yeah.
opposed to we brought in three guys to sing, but they may or may not be with us next time around, right?
Yeah. And invariably one of the singers is usually Mark Bowles. Yeah.
Who appears everywhere, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not that I have anything against
Well,
Mark Bowles.
Ronnie Romero, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Dino
Guys,
Jelusic, right? I
the
mean,
guys on this are good guys. You get the guy from Crimson Glory, the new guy, Travis Wills. You got Devin Graves from Psychotic Waltz, and you got John J.C. Kuipers from the Arion Camp. So they're
He's
good
great.
guys, but I don't know. I would just prefer a one voice kind of thing.
yeah, you sometimes you want to suspend disbelief and get behind like a band and think that it's a band and that, hey, you know what? Maybe I might even conceptually might even see these guys on a stage someday, just not,
And I
passing
might listen to
milestones.
another album after this that
Right.
is consistent with what you get
Yeah,
here.
with some continuity. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with this style of music, we have way too much of these project type things now. That seems like that's the norm. So it's almost like there's no consistency for so many bands or albums from one to the next because there is this whole thing of it's just all guest stars all the time.
Yeah. Well, see, it's very easy for these guys to send files around
That's what
and
happens,
and
yeah.
and also a lot of these guys they don't play out. Maybe there's no place for them to play, so they're they're invariably their studio projects.
Yep. Yep. All right, Ken, what do you got for your first three?
All right, so first thing I'm going to say, I have to talk about my children. So I put out four releases in 2025, which I think were all fantastic, but I don't want anybody to claim nepotism, so I'm not including any of them. And if anybody else does, thank you. So we put out early in the year, we put out Sons of Ra from Chicago, Standard Deviation. I think it was a great jazz rock album. Eden Song, Our Road to Dust. These guys came back after many years. Uh, this is a multinational prog metal band that we're working with called Philosophobiia. The Constant Void is their second album. And then maybe, my favorite album for the year that we put out was Agripelta, The Book of Hours, for symphonic prog. I think it's an amazing record, but because I put it out, I disqualified it from my listing. So what is my 5, 4, and 3. Oh, I didn't do this in Prezi the correct way, but okay, I'll fart around with it. My number 5 is Nankai Trio. So, oh, the other thing I should mention, and I discussed this before we started recording, is that this was a good year, at least from my perspective, and my honorable mentions, any of them could have been in my top 5. So if I don't mention something, I may mention it as an honorable mention, and you know. So I had a lot of fusion stuff sort of creeping into the list, and I wanted to balance it out a little bit. Nankai Trio, Antarctica, this one made the cut. Uh, any other year, this could have been a number 1 for me. Just brilliant. Senri Kawaguchi, great drummer. She's unbelievable. George turned me on to her, right? George with Kaio-sen, was it? Guitar player Shoya Kitagawa, guy's blazing on this album. And the bass player is Masatoshi Mizuno from Fragile. Is that the sugar daddy for Senri?
I don't know.
No, he's a little older, right?
Yeah.
He's a bit older, but they're a trio. But this album just blazes, beginning to end. It's
Ken, that might find its way on another show, another top
yeah.
show somewhere. I think
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye out for it.
you do that.
All right. My next one, this one was moving up and down the list for me, and I loaded the pictures in reverse order, so this is annoying me. Ring Van Mobius, Firebrand. So at first, this was actually for a while. This when I was compiling the list, this was actually my number 1. This is the 4th album from this now defunct Norwegian band. It's to my ears, it's ELP meets Van de Graaff Generator. A lot of Emerson in the keyboards playing, a lot of keyboards, but organ seems to be his primary focus. There's this 24-minute closer called False Dawn, which to my ears is just sort of ripped right out of Trilogy, and it's just this is my kind of prog rock. It's 70s flavored, retro, great prog, and it's got that awesome octopus running a spaceship on the cover, running a rocket ship. I mean, it doesn't get more prog than that. And
Great cover.
my next one that I have, Hooffoot, 3rd album, Phantom Limb. So we're still waiting for the CD to come out for this one. Supposedly it's in the works. They've been saying that, I think, for a few months now. This is the 3rd album from the Swedish outfit. Again, it's sort of like, is it prog or is it fusion or jazz rock? I'm not really sure, but it's got a very strong 70s sort of Mahavishnu meets Canterbury meets whatever. I mean, it's just great prog. This band for me is 3 for 3, and brilliant record. So that's what I got for my first 5.
Yeah, that's a really good band.
Really good.
All right, my number 5 is a return from a prog metal band that God, they had been away for quite a long time. This actually came in, I was out of nowhere, and I'm like, holy shit, I remember these guys. It's been a long time. Sia Saren, The World Outside. Really great album. It's a long album. Songs are long. Killer guitar playing, really great. The vocalist is outstanding in this band. He does all sorts of different vocal styles. So he does like the normal prog metal kind of high pitched stuff. He does some kind of gruff stuff as well. He's all over the place. Great keyboards, dramatic songs. Like I said, long songs. It's pretty heavy in spots. George, I don't know if you got a chance to hear this yet, but really good album. It's really hit me more than even their other ones. Like I said, I had kind of forgotten about these guys, but really good. That's my number 5. My number 4 is going to be the Agripelter, Book of Hours. I remember like falling in love with the cover. I mean, the artwork on this is great. Again, Ken, is this like a mix of like AI and art?
Yeah, the guy who put it together, he's a graphic designer, and he starts with AI and he manipulated it. I mean,
Yeah. I
from
mean,
that
it's awesome.
perspective, he's using it as if it was a paintbrush.
Yeah, great stuff. Kai Olsen is the mastermind behind this band. Jacob Holmlupo had a lot to do with what the production and things like that and the mixing. Just really good classic style, Scandinavian prog rock, all instrumental, great keyboards, great drumming. The guitar playing is off the charts good. Just a really, really smooth, good listen. It's got bombast, it's got quieter passages. Really, really good. Very, very enjoyable if you like 70s style prog, but specifically if you like the Scandinavian sounds. Just really, really good. And then my number three. I kind of almost didn't include this here because is it prog? Is this more metal? But ultimately, I think this band is prog metal. And this is really good. And again, another album that kind of came out of nowhere. It's the first of what's going to be a couple parts. Green Carnation, a dark poem. What's the full? A dark poem, part one, The Shores of Melancholia. Terrific. Really, really good. Very emotional stuff. It's heavy in spots, but there's amazing vocals on here. And the arrangements are really well done. There's great guitar work, nice amount of keyboards, but just very, very these guys have a unique sound. It's kind of gothic in spots, but it's definitely really, really proggy. If you haven't listened to Green Carnation in a while, because they've been away for a while, I definitely think you're going to love this, and I can't wait to hear where they go next with this whole concept piece because I think this is absolutely, absolutely terrific. There's some great songs on here. Me, My Enemy is just one of my favorite songs of the year. So good. As Silence Took You is another great track. Killer, killer vocals, heavy, proggy, atmospheric, kind of gothic, excellent stuff. And it comes in this cool kind of slipcase box. So when you get all of the different volumes, they can all fit right in the slipcase, which is pretty cool. So with that, back to Eric.
Yeah, that slipcase is gone now.
Yeah. So if you didn't get it the first time around, it's not going to come with part two or part three, right? So
So my number two and my number one, I wanted to say too, the two that Ken mentioned, I know we talked about, apparently we're the only four who've listened to a lot of new music. I haven't even gotten to Hooffoot or Agripelter yet. So I'm even behind the eight ball on that. But number two, Steve Morse Band. I love Steve Morse. I got to see him in October, kind of pre-release. So the show I saw was about 2, 3 weeks before the album came out. But he could do no wrong with me. It was a great show. And on top of that, you get a song with Eric Johnson. You get a song with John Petrucci. I just think it's a terrific record. It's his first, I think, Steve Morse band since 2009. So it's been a very long time. And very happy it came out. And I hope he gets back out on the road. Because I think all the shows he did for that little pre-tour were before the release of the album. So I'm hoping he comes around again. And my number one, for all the people who poke fun at me for not liking vocals, Ekelin. I've loved this band since As the World. Pretty much everything they've done just connects with me. I don't know that I can explain it. Brett and Ray, I always think sound great together. Their voices blend very well. Um, are they as proggy as the early stuff? No, but there's something about them. I love every Chris Busby weaving between the guitars with his pianos and keyboards. I just absolutely terrific. Another band that takes their time with their releases, but usually worth it when they come out. So that is my number one, Ekelin. Time Silent Radio 2 and 7, I believe, are the titles.
yeah, strangely titled. I still think it's weird that they put these out as two and
I agree.
Eric, did you like them equally?
I like 7 better than 2.
Seven was the
Um,
one that had like the longer pieces, right?
it has Tiny Star, Cul-de-sacs and Tunnels, which are probably my 2 favorite songs, and they're both on that disc. So
Yeah.
I go with that one more so, but I usually throw them in the player 1, 2 and let it go. So
Good records.
yeah.
Are they full length or are they
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, could they have released it as a double disc set? I'm sure they could have, right?
yeah. We didn't get the story on that, did we, when we had them on as to, or did we, as to why it was done that way?
I don't know if they really came out and actually said it. I don't know.
Okay. Might have to go back and watch.
Yeah, I don't really remember there being an absolute explanation for it. George, what do you got in your top two?
Well, number two, both of my one and two are bands I've liked a long time. Like just think both releases this year were very solid releases. Number two is Panzer Ballet, Ouvre Code Ouvre. Uh, Probably the most progressive band on my list. Uh, they take everything to the nth degree. There's real heavy stuff on here. The opening song is a Meshuggah cover. That'll kind of put you in the neighborhood of how heavy they can get. Um, just really good playing. I like the last two albums. They've done drummer by committee, and they go out and get the guys you want to hear. You got Virgil Donati, you got Annika Niles, you got Marco Miniman. I mean, you got Morgan Agron. This is the cream of the crop for drummers on this album. Shockingly enough, my favorite song might be their ballad on here, Andromeda. Really deep song. It's great writing on that one. I was a little slow to absorb this one, but I'm on board now. And I kind of say the same for my number one, Dream Theater. They took a lot of heat from a lot of online about, it sounds too much like Dream Theater. They didn't stretch out. Who are they supposed to sound like?
Exactly.
If you like them, it's because they sound like themselves. But they were supposed to come back with the drummer coming back and then sound like somebody else. I just didn't make any sense to me. This is a classic Dream Theater album just for today. Very consistent. There's nothing I skip on this thing. It's the album that I would have hoped for if you asked me before they put it out. What will it sound like? How good will it be? I would want this. So had to be my number one.
So, George, let me ask you, because you follow them, Pete, I know you follow them. Ken, you probably do too, more than I do. When Portnoy was out of the band, did their sound kind of change at all or no?
I think the sound was the same, but the quality was not with the early ones, the first three or four. And especially of course, the Astonishing was not.
Then came the Astonishing.
That's what happens when you get the band to go outside of what they do.
I thought the last two they did with Mangini, was it two or one?
Two. Yeah, the
Two
last two.
were very good. Were the best in the whole run with him, I thought, because I thought the songwriting had gotten a little better. I don't find the Astonishing notwithstanding, I don't like that, but I thought the ones that came before the Astonishing are very solid. I just don't find the material as memorable as what they typically can do. What's great about this new record is that everything on it is very, very memorable. And Eric, you saw them play the whole thing live.
Yep.
It comes off even better live, and the album has held up very, very well, I think.
Yep.
Mike brought those Avenged Sevenfold influences with him, right?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
What do you got as your top two, Ken?
I did, Pete Green Carnation was on my list at one point, but the list was too long. So
Good stuff.
that was a great record. All right. So I had to curse Chris out because he screwed me up because I forgot about this album. Andre Drage, Wolves. For some reason, I don't know why, but I had this as a 2020, like a late 2024 release. And then he said 2025, and and it was April. All right. I guess this year's been stretching out longer than I thought. So this could have been my number one. It's just that I forgot about it, and I have a number one. So this could be 1B, but all right. So Andre Drage, Norwegian drummer. He's got different bands, and for this particular thing, we're under his own name. He went into purely like fusion 70s fusion style. A lot of Mahavishnu influences on this album. Just King Crimson. It's just a monster of an album. It's just great. The other album, which is what was it, Journeyman?
Journeyman. Yep.
He went in a totally different direction. Also, really, really good, but it's almost like a different, composed by a different person. So this one, Wolves, just a stunning album, and he still hasn't put it out on CD. and I'm afraid to say he's unbelievably difficult to work with. So I, I mean, I don't care because I'll say it because I was able to get the albums to sell from a third party, and then when I sold out of them, and I wanted to get more from him. I had difficulty getting. I couldn't get them. So I think I don't know. He has some strange business philosophies, and he's sitting. I suspect he's sitting on a mountain of albums. He talked about doing a CD version. As far as I know, it still hasn't come out. But if you like that '70s flavor, it's just a monster of a record. Don't you agree, Eric? I know you love this record.
There's a real heaviness to that record too. I
It's
mean,
just there's an intensity
it's
about the whole thing.
Ken, I think that's going to show up somewhere else too. I'm just guessing,
Maybe,
but
I
maybe
predict
I
it.
don't know.
Put a couple bucks on that. I'll throw a couple
yeah.
bucks
If
into
I
it.
could think of a show that would be appropriate, I'll mention it. I'll shoot
Thank
you an
you.
email. I'll shoot you an
Yeah,
email. Maybe you figure it out.
thank you.
Yeah. So my number one, Lars Frederick Freusler, Gamla Mester. So Lars, as we know, is a keyboard player in White Willow and Wobbler, and this is his second solo album. And to me, this is just like kind of like a love letter to '70s prog. I hear a lot of Italian prog in here. I mean, Lars plays, if you could think of the keyboard, he's playing it on this thing. Mellotron, Hammond organs, synths, analog synths. I mean, he's got a huge collection of keyboards, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, he's just killing on this album. Vocals are fine, long tracks. I think it's incredible record. And I thought his first album was great. I think this one's even better. And
Is
this
Wobbler still active?
supposedly, I don't talk to Lars anymore. Everything's filtered through Jacob. So uh, I, from what I understand, they are working on a new album.
It's been a while.
But yeah, it's been too long. And he's a super talented guy. He has all different kinds of interests. There was he had a black metal band at one point. Can't remember the name of it. Yeah, for years and years ago, and it was sort of like a black metal all-star band. And he's interested. It's that whole Norwegian thing. So
And then they
then he
recently reissued the album with all Italian vocals on
yeah, so he got Stefano Gallifi from Museo Rosenbach to record vocals in Italian because clearly Italian prog is a love of his, and he had him record the vocals to the first album, and it's fantastic too. But I didn't include that because it's really a reworking of an older record, and this is a 2025 release. So this was my favorite. This was 1A, Andre Drage being 1B. So there you go.
Yeah, both
That's
great.
that's what I got.
Good choice. All right, my number two is a band that they've been away for a few years, but now they're down to one guitar player, but they didn't lose anything in my opinion. The band is Between the Buried and Me. The Blue Nowhere is their release. They are now on Inside Out Music. Go figure. They went from Metal Blade for many, many years to Inside Out. They haven't lost the beat. This is, if you're not familiar with Between the Buried and Me, prog metal band. They have some extreme metal tendencies. This is what you'd expect from them. It's zany, it's complex, it's crazy, it's heavy, it's kind of theatrical. There's like circus music on here. There's death metal on here. There's jazz fusion on here. There's everything. I mean, they do everything in the kitchen sink, and it's out there, but I love it. So complex. They're probably one of the when you get right down to it, out of all the progressive metal bands, they just do some stuff that like I don't know where they're coming from, but it all kind of works in the end. So really, really good stuff. Vocals are clean, they're growly, they're screamy, they're just a little bit of everything. The guitar playing is off the chain, the keyboards are great, the drums, bass, everything is fantastic. Really, really good album. To me, they've never made a bad album. Really good. And then my number one is the Dream Theater, Parasomnia. Um, yeah, I knew. I always thought that Mike would come back to the band. I thought that was inevitable, and I figured, kind of like what George said, I knew when they got back together that they were going to put out an album that was going to be everything we hoped it would be. And I remember the first time I heard this album, I was already remembering these songs after the first listen. And they warrant repeat listens, and there's just some great stuff. And the funny thing is, one of the songs that initially I was kind of like, that's kind of like the ballady song on here. It's probably my least favorite, has become like my favorite song. I think Bend the Clock is absolutely terrific. It's so memorable. Labrie sounds great on it, and it sounds even better live. But the big lengthy track is great. Midnight Messiah is great. It's all really, really good. I like it a lot. I like the production of the playing is great. Artwork is great. It's my number one. Honorables, what do you got, Eric?
Well, kind of where Ken was going with how difficult the top five was. I felt there were a lot of albums that came out that were of excellent quality. I felt like my honorable mention list could have been about 20, but I'll be good. And I kept it to three. And this one might be another surprise, but I really enjoyed the McStein Miniman three. A lot of vocals on that one, so count that one in. But there's something about it. It's very Beatlesque at times. Uh, McStein, I really like. Obviously, Marco Miniman, great drummer, but I think the writing's really good. I think they're good. It's good. It's catchy material, well played. Probably more intricate than it sounds at times, but really good stuff. Going back to the guitar album, Faye Zek, Intercosmic Spiral. Really like this one. Got a lot of time with me. I had, God, I want to say, I forget the one. I only had one other one by him, and it was an much older one. So I was really excited when that one came out, and that got a lot of spins for me. And I'm gonna cheat, but between seeing this live, watching the DVD multiple times, and just constant listening when it came out, I got to put Beat in there. I know it's not a studio album, but if I'm counting what I listened to this year, that got so much play.
Yeah.
I played the hell out of that, and especially after we saw the show, you just kind of have that excitement, and you want to
That
go
could be the
back to it.
live album of the year right there.
Oh, and they did an incredible job. I would go see them again in a heartbeat. That was just a thrill,
Agreed.
and
Agreed.
very clever of them to come out and do that. And I think, regardless of what you thought, Steve Vai was amazing, and I think he didn't cop Fripp. But you go back and listen. There's so much energy with that band. Absolutely terrific. So
Everything
I
he
had to
did was
put
tasteful. Everything that Vi did
yes,
was very tasteful and
agree.
fit the music. It was
Yep,
respectful of the music.
absolutely. So I know we do studio albums, but I just played that. I played the hell out of that, so I had to put that in there.
Yep. Cool. George, how about you?
Aramaze. If you told me beforehand that they were gonna suck most of the prog out of it and have a lot of hook-laden songs, I would have been like, eh. But it's so good. The hooks just totally grab you and stick with you. And Nathan Peachy's got to be one of my favorite singers. That dude's voice is incredible. I wish there was a little bit more frilly playing. Dean Wills is a great player. He could stand a solo more on this, but man, it's catchy stuff. I'll echo Eric, the Squeaky Feet. I was kind of a non-fan of the first album, so for me to have this on here, I was pretty surprised. But again, these songs got hooks. Both of the two albums I just said here are so hooky. It's incredible.
And I don't mind the fact that there's more vocals on this record. I think they work fine. I think it's
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
the
too.
vocals are better on this record.
yeah.
I'm going to echo Eric with the Vian Zek.
Ooh, George, didn't expect that one. Nice.
Yeah, neither did I, because if you told me that I was going to put a Guitar Hero album that had Miniman and Beller on it, I would have said Cyric. And the Cyric is good, but it is bogged down in narration. There's like 6 narration tracks, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is a straight through listen, quirkier than the Cyric. It's just I do get more out of this than the Cyric a little bit. The good stuff on the Cyric I like better than this, but as an album, this one.
I forgot about that album.
Yeah, too much narration. Jeez.
You
And
know,
what
they wouldn't sell me the Cyric album.
Really?
Why
Yeah.
not?
It's a story. It's a story in itself. They wouldn't sell it to me.
Story of Cyric.
I mean, a couple of those narrations are like 3 minutes long. What are you doing? This is a
Music,
story.
music is great though.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
incredible. Oh well.
All right. Ken, how about you? You got any left?
I got five. So of course I've got more than anybody, right? So, well, no, we'll get to him. But Squeaky Feet, it's a great record. Again, initially it was in my top five, and um, the only downside I have for this album is that the way it's paced, it felt a little long for me.
It's a little long. Yeah.
They end it with the 15-minute piece. So it's like by the time I get to that, I'm like, whoa, you know. But it's interesting you guys talking about like the hooks because Jeff, who's like much more of like a death metal guy and all kinds of extreme metal, I was playing it today and he's like, what is that? You know, and he was talking about, he said, wow, that's like a great riff. It's a great, like a great hook. And really solid record. Really, really solid record. It easily holds up to the first album for me. But I probably would have sequenced the album a little differently. Because again, to end with that 15-minute piece, I was on the balls of my ass by the time I got to it. So all right, next I have Jacob Roberge, The Passing, Canadian. He's a singer, keyboard player, very talented guy. People are comparing him to Neil Morse. I think not from the religious angle, but just maybe in terms of compositionally. Uh, he's got a great guitar player, a guy named William Gabbery, who's also, I think, doing the production. It's got like a 30 some odd minute track. Maybe that's part of the comparison to to Neil Morse. Uh, this is a guy I think that, and he's very young. I think this is somebody that we're going to really hear a lot from in the years to come. We sold a ton of these of Jacob's album, and I think in the prog world, the prog community, I think this record got a lot of traction. I think you're going to see it turning up on a lot of like year-end top 10 lists. Next, this was I thought an unbelievably brave signing for Inside Out. I really liked it a lot. Asymmetric Universe, A Memory and What Came After, all instrumental. Is it prog rock? Is it fusion? Is it gent metal? Yes, it's all of those things. And it's just one of those records you really have to pay attention to because, I'm so worn out on the whole gent metal thing that, and like they're kind of doing that. And all of a sudden, they just shift gears and it's just like full on like fusion. And I think it's really clever. Two guys from Italy. George, are they brothers? I don't remember.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And they brought in a lot of ringers to fill it out. And I think it's excellent. Really, really good. And
It's a good
something
record.
different. Really something different. Next, this one I guess we might hear from on another show. The Outer Net, The Light and the Fury. Phil Tercio, keyboard player, play with Virgil Donati, Australian band. And in that, well, I wouldn't say necessarily the classic fusion sound, because for me, that's sort of like late 70s. This might, maybe, sounds more like Chick Corea Electric Band, that kind of a thing. That's how I hear it. That and of course, like Return to Forever. Thought it was very, very good. And my last honorable mention that I thought was a great record that we didn't never talked about, I don't think. Dominic Sanderson, Blazing Revelations. He is a British multi-instrumentalist, but he has a band playing on here. This is his second album. Four long tracks, tons of keyboards, lots and lots of Mellotron, Hammond organ, flute. It's like a love letter to 70s British prog. You get lots of Canterbury influences, Van de Graaff, King Crimson. Great, great record. And yeah, that's what I got. I mean, there were others like Pete, you talked about Green Carnation. I thought that was a great, great record. There was just other things that just Say a Sayer and all these other things. I had to pare the list down. So,
Yeah. All right, I didn't pull too many honorables because I've got my top 75 of the year ready to be posted fairly soon on the webzine. We have other shows which I have to pull out stuff for, so I just pulled a couple here. So I'm going to include the Echoland as well. Both really, really good. Both, or it is. I kind of call them two separate things. I don't know what you're really supposed to do, but whatever. Uh, Magic Pie, Maestro. Really strong album from the Norwegian prog band. I really like these guys a lot. Big, long songs. It's heavy. It's light. It's melodic. It's kind of prog metal in spots. I don't think they've ever put out a bad album. I like this one quite a bit. I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. Yeah, I'm going to kind of keep my. Oh, you know what? I do want to mention this one because this is one that I just got. It's so late in the year, and I don't even know if it's going to make my overall list at all. It probably should because I really like it. I think it's really good. But the latest Spock's Beard, the Optimist, I can never say it. Optimist, however it is, really good, really good. It sounds like Spock's Beard. Ted Leonard sounds like Steve Walsh. You know, he's got a great voice. He's been in the band for a while now. It's got long
Say that
song.
again.
The name of it, the Optimist, something like that.
Why don't I know that if he sounds like Steve Walsh?
Oh, Ted Leonard?
you
All
never
right,
heard
I
that
got to
one?
go out. I got to go out and give it a listen. I know the name. I knew he replaced.
He used to be in
I
Enchant.
Yeah, I didn't. I never listened to Enchant, and I knew he came in after Neil Morse, but I didn't really listen to Spock's Beard after Neil left.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
got he's got a very good voice. To me,
He's
he
good.
sounds like a young Steve Walsh. Maybe not quite
oh,
as amazing as Steve Walsh, but in that style, I think.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. I
Like
owe
if
that a spin
just
then.
go here's what you do, Eric. Just go listen to Invisible from this album. That's the kickoff
Okay,
track. That's the most Kansas sounding track on the album. I
we'll
think
do.
it's a very good album. I don't think this band has made a bad album. You know, sometimes they just sound too Spock's Beardish, for lack of a better term, because some of their albums kind of sound a lot alike. But I like it a lot. I think it's really good. Ryo Okamoto is great on it. He plays some great keyboards. He produced the album too. So it's really good. It's just very good, accessible prog, but you know, it's got its little bits of I think since Neil left the band, they lost a lot of that Beatles influence. So now it's like it's, you know, it's got Kansas, Genesis, Gentle Giant elements all throughout it, but it ultimately just sounds like Spock's Beard. So it's good. Solid stuff. So that's what I got. So
Good year. Good year.
yeah, good solid year. Like we mentioned before, so we do have For Fusion Friday coming up very early January. So we'll be talking about our favorite fusion albums of the year. I held off on talking about all of my picks, and I'm going to save them for that because I know sometimes they bleed into these shows. Next week we'll be doing on Hudson Valley Squares our favorite hard rock and metal albums of the year. So I will be not talking about the prog metal stuff on there. I'll be talking about the straight hard rock and metal stuff. And on the UK connection, you're going to get a little bit of everything. So, yeah, it gets a little complicated on this channel when you're covering multiple genres like we do, but we'll figure it out. So, anyway, we'll see you back here in early 2023 for In the Prog Seat. And let us know what your favorite releases are of the year down in the comments below. And for those of you who follow our webzine, you can look for my list and Eric's list and Stephen and Simon and everybody else who takes part in the webzine. We will be publishing our picks of the year on the webzine somewhere around Christmas time or shortly thereafter that. So be on the lookout for that in a couple of weeks. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn
All the
time.
damn time.
Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell to get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. If you have any questions about any of the releases we talked about today, put them down in the comments. We're sure to respond and take a look at those. And we'll see you next time here on In the Prog Seat. Have a happy and safe holiday season, everybody. For Ken Golden, George LeMay, and Eric Porter, I am P. Pardo. For the rest of the guys on In the Prog Seat, we'll see you all soon. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.